Hello, I'm Reverend Michael Mugford, and I'm part of the ministry team at Cole Harbour Woodside United Church, along with the Reverend Krista Elizabeth Wynn, and I'm pleased to offer this spiritual reflection today. As we continue to walk through this pandemic, we are beginning to get a little bit more used to the way things seem to be in a constant state of flux. For me, it has felt as though I just seem to get used to life taking on a particular look or a particular cadence, and something happens and it throws everything off kilter. We pause and we gather ourselves up and we start again. And in the last few days, as COVID is resurging in New Brunswick, we are beginning to brace ourselves for that second wave of COVID through the Maritimes coming sooner rather than later, perhaps. It feels as though we had a new normal established, but it wasn't permanent. Much of life around us is truly temporary. I think as human beings, we want permanence. We see things around us that we think are permanent. Our church is like that. We in the church are so very attached to what we hope is permanent. Our programs, our worship, our understanding of how we relate to God, and our faith in the world. God is always there. But as the writer of Ecclesiastes has told us, God has made everything suited to its time, has given human beings an awareness of eternity, but in such a way that they can't fully comprehend from beginning to end what God does. Perhaps instead of focusing on finding permanence, we should begin to learn to embrace the temporary. I love to read the work of a particular writer by the name of Rex Hunt. Hunt is a preacher, a theologian, and a scholar from the Uniting Churches of Australia. And he is a little bit, to put it politely, out in left field. And that's kind of why I like him. I'm not much of a traditionalist in many ways. In some ways I am. I like my traditions as much as the next person. But some ways I can see the ability for us to change is necessary. But people who are out in left field sometimes give us a glance at life and its facets in many ways that we might not have understood many years ago. In one of Rex Hunt's writings, he points to another writer by the name of Clyde Reid, who wrote a book called Celebrate the Temporary. And in the message of that book, Clyde writes that we need to challenge the comfortable and the mundane and the anxious in life. And we must learn to figure out how we will live within the temporary. Here's just a smidgen of what Reid wrote. He writes, "Celebrate the temporary. Don't wait until tomorrow. Live today. Celebrate the simple things. Enjoy the butterfly. Embrace the snow. Run with the ocean, delight in the trees, or in a single lonely flower. Go barefoot in the wet grass. Don't wait until all the problems are solved, or all the bills are paid, or you will wait forever. Eternity will come and go, and you will still be waiting. Live in the now, with all its problems and its agonies, with its joy and its pain. There is joy and beauty today. It is temporary, here now and gone, so celebrate it while you can." Celebrating the temporary and remembering the everydayness of Jesus' imagination and utterances, the love of enemies and forgiving of others, imitating the divine tolerance. I read a story recently where a great artist said, when you are preparing to paint a vase of flowers, you must place the flowers in the vase very carefully, arranging them just so, looking at them and ensuring that each petal and each leaf is where you want it to be. And then he says, turn the vase around 180 degrees and paint the other side. I think that this means that we focus so much on one aspect of something for too long, we may miss what else is a part of that thing that we're looking for or looking at from a different perspective. There is beauty and wonder and mystery and awe in the infinite nature of God. the permanence of God's presence and God's love. But there is also beauty, wonder, mystery, and awe in a flower that may only last for a brief time and yet brings us such great joy. In each of the seasons in the life that we are given, as temporary as they are, there is much to celebrate in our being together, even if it is for a brief hour. Just some thoughts for today. Peace.